As the pace of constructing the BLAST submillimeter telescope quickens, in time to meet very ambitious science goals, the team is faced with the inevitable.
Well, I mean, we ran into a couple of just broken pieces which had to be fixed.
Then we discovered that some of the optics weren't aligned correctly, and it was in a very subtle way. That took us a long time to figure out. And so whenever you're putting something together, you're going to find something that we didn't expect.
An assembly that was scheduled to take 3 weeks took nearly 5.
When you've been working on the machine this long, all the easy problems have been found, and so all that's left is the obscure and subtle ones.
With the delay comes a growing sense of urgency for the BLAST science team.
Because we are very keen to launch as soon as possible to maximize the scientific potential of the experiment. We also require a flight that is as long as possible.
With BLAST finally fully assembled and functional, the last step is to cryogenically cool the telescope's submillimeter detectors to 4.2 degrees above absolute zero with liquid helium, a temperature approximate to the submillimeter radiation it will receive.
Jim, I'm still not getting AR data.
Before a payload is declared flight ready, it undergoes a dress rehearsal of sorts called a compatibility check.
The line of sight data isn't coming in yet either.
That's an exercise where the payload is taken out and typically hung from the launch vehicle, and the instrument is fired up in its entirety. All of the functions are tested, and when the scientist determines that CSBF gear is not interfering with what he's trying to do and vice versa, then the payload is declared flight ready.
Here, telemetry, the ability to send and receive data and control functions to and from the payload, is tested and confirmed.
There's 2 types of telemetry. One is used on relatively short flights that might last anywhere between 6 and 48 hours. That's called line-of-sight telemetry.
Line of sight typically gives the scientists the first initial couple hours of float data that they can thereby look at and see how their instrument's performing.
For longer duration over-the-horizon flights, satellite-based telemetry is used. Of the two, line-of-sight bandwidth is considerably greater.
We can actually go up to about 1 megabit per second and have multiple 1 megabit streams coming down from the payload.
Enough bandwidth to allow scientists to completely reprogram a payload in extreme cases during the first hours of flight.
Okay, thanks a lot, guys. 10 o'clock in the morning.
10 o'clock tomorrow.
Cover the flight readiness review.
With the BLAST payload flight ready, the wild card now is the weather.